today's tech session is about Neo4j graph databases and how to import Thunderdome data into that graph database. So first I'm going to go through quickly about what's Neo and what's graph database. I actually stole these slides from Neo4j. So graph databases are used for MDM, network and IT operations like we are doing in ELISA right now. Then there is fraud detection and so on. Yeah. And graph databases are built, there is 4 different blocks: nodes, relationships, properties and labels. Those are the building blocks. So next we are going to see what it's like. So you can actually model graph database in a whiteboard. And here is an example about movies. So we have an actor, there Tom Hanks and Hugo Weaving. They have acted in Cloud Atlas and Matrix, and there is director. So we can model this in this way. We can take all those properties, like here is node, here is relationships, and so on. And then we can add some properties like name and birth year, and then there is labels like person, director, movie, so on. And it will look like this in actual database. So what you have modeled into the whiteboard, you can bring it into actual data model. Yep. Okay, and here is one example about social recommendations. So if someone is trying to find sushi restaurants in New York, and my friends like those places, so first we are going to take here is the person, here are the friends, and they like iSushi, which serves sushi and locates in New York. And here is the actual query for that. So this is Cypher language, which is used for creating queries, and it's basically SQL. Yeah. And when that is executed, it will create that kind of search between those nodes. Yeah, simple. So that's the basics of graph databases. So now you know all. So everything, so let's go to the Neo browser. So I have this Neo browser running in my computer, and we can actually, well, this is the database and this is the interface for it. So next we are going to import Thunderdome data to Neo, and Thunderdome data is defined in, well, it's in Firebase, and it's this kind of JSON file what we are going to import and to Neo. And yeah, well, this is quite big JSON file, and there is some strange things. But first, we can go here. We can skip cleanup phase. So first I'm going to add global parameter where I'm saying that we have the data for import in that file. Now that's done. Then we are going to import hobbies. First, we are going to create indexes and constraints. And that's like the query. Well, nothing special up here. And then importing hobbies. First, we are going to call that JSON file and loop through all hobbies what are defined in Wunderdom data. And when I run this, it says there is 115 nodes created. And now we can actually see that we have these kind of hobbies defined in our Wunderdom. There is actually, so it's only showing 25 hobbies right now. Yep. Then we can actually create a query that which finds how many hobbies we have in our database. So first we are going to find hobby, which is node, and this is the label for it, and return count of hobbies. So we are getting this kind of number. Yeah. Then let's do some data import, because there is a lot of these irrelevant data. So skills, and this the same kind. Well, we have 177 skills. Oh yeah, and I mean skills are in Wunderdom, they are defined as tags, but I think the skills is much better naming. Then there is clients, what we have in Wunderdom, and let's import those. Yeah, and if we want to see clients, we have different clients defined like what we have, Yle, Juana, Posti. Yeah. Then we import profiles. This is much interesting query, because now we have just imported single nodes like hobbies, clients, skills. But here we are going to create relationships between those nodes. Like here we are going to link person with a skill and hobbies and disciplines. So if we are going to run this, it will take some time. Yeah, now we can see that there is almost 4,000 relationships created. And if I yeah, so if now I'm going to match myself and fetch my data, we can see that, oh, yeah. So yeah, I can actually check here. Here is that kind of person, and I can change what there is shown in the node. And here we can see what nodes I have linked. So you can see that these greens are actually skills, and I think these are hobbies. And I can actually open, if I move that here, and we can see that these persons have beer as a hobby. So yeah. So now we have and then we can actually create query about persons who have Rust in their skill set. And I'm actually converting the skill name to lower because there is different kind of typings. Yeah. So here we can see that these are the persons who know Rust, and it's quite easy, and we can actually combine that persons who know Rust and has forget well in some project and so on. So it's quite easy way to visualize that data. And then next example is about persons who say they are good developers in backend and frontend. So here I'm finding link that here is the person who is at the center, and then there should be relationship, these two relationships, and the first one is backend and second one is front end and skill level. Well, we can say in Wunderdom what level you have. So then I can find this kind of query, and here we have a listing of people who have at least 4 in both of those skills. Well, yeah, I think there was 2 persons who have the highest level. Yep. And then let's import projects, and this is same kind of. So in projects we have also links to the persons and clients. Yeah. And now if we can actually, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can show. Yeah, then we have this kind of label has contributed to. As you can see, here is some projects, and we can see that Tavu has contributed to Santa Care and Yelp. The thing, what's wrong in Wunderdom data, there is, you can spell so many ways same projects, so there is well, the data is broken and you can get a lot of strange results if you try to find yourself and people who have actually worked in the same project, but you can find those. Yeah. So yeah, then one thing in Neo is that it's pretty good for finding paths and like routing and so on. So here is a simple query to create that is quite absurd. So person, and we are going to find person and then the project. Project is nano, and what's the shortest path to that project, and so in what kind of relations I have actually into that project. So the result is that kind of, I'm here, I have contributed to the, what's that? Yeah, Audi, and then Addu has as well contributed to Audi, and then he has contributed to design system, and Abe has forget into the nano. So that kind of, if we want to find relationships or that's if we want to find that kind of introductions, who could introduce you in, let's say, like some programming language, and you have some familiarities. Yeah, and then we are going to import work histories from profiles. This was, well, this is as well broken in Wunderdom, so it doesn't have a lot of good uses here. I can show you. Yeah, this example will list work history sorted by date, and well, it's not and here's my work history, but it's not full because I don't have those date fields in many ways in many of my previous workplaces, so that's a problem. Yeah. And I think, yeah, and here is a couple of problems with Wunderdom data. Let's say if we want to find people who have worked in the same company in previous life, we can actually create this kind of query where we can find a person and then the relationship company, and then I'm matching only people who have worked in Code Bakers and Fifth Element, basically. And here's what we are actually getting, because the spelling is different. So I have added OU, those my companies, and then Manu and Fired has not. So yeah, well, as you can see, it's not a very good way. So I think we should fix it, this kind of data in Wunderdom. Yeah, that was about importing stuff. And I can, if we take, let's say, I'll write some query. Oh yeah, we can actually use this one. So we have these nodes, like here, and you can see in the bottom you can see all the properties assigned to that node. So we have full name, title, and Wunder name. Then we have the relationship here, and has worked at, and then in that relationship is start date and end date. So yeah, and then we have this node here, and well, company doesn't have any other information than name. But yeah, creating a graph database is quite easy with Neo, and I think it will give a lot of more tools than, well, let's say relational database in that kind of data where is a lot of connections and, let's say, network topology data. So you can actually see all the connections and you can create queries quite easily. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the Neo side. Then I created a simple REST API, which is actually using that Neo data. So we can actually, so this real way to use actually the Neo. So we have Spring and here, and I have modeled the data model here, what we have, and then we have, let's see, let's run it. Yeah, no, it's working. So then using Neo in your applications, you can use both driver and basically it's in most common languages available like Java, Node, etc. So yeah, this quite simple way to create queries inside Java or Kotlin application, and then there is a simple REST controller which will actually return the results. But yeah, I will share this code for you so you can check how it's done. Yeah. I think that was my quick introduction to Neo, and I was going to refactor that Neo database and the Wunderdom data, but I didn't have the time to think about it through. So yeah, because there is so many, it's broken in so many ways, so we can actually get a lot of good data out of it right now. So we need to actually fix it. But yeah, that's how introduction for Neo and how to import data. If you have any questions, I will answer or try, because I have limited knowledge about graph databases, so yeah. Yeah.
Can you do more complex joins? Like for example, if you have a person that you have that is attributed to a skill and then it will fork like two separate directions. Is that possible?
Yeah, but I think now the data is so broken, so I tried to create those queries, but I didn't find any that kind of connections. So we can actually try to, let's say, I'll write something. Okay, we got letku because I just tried to find one person. But we can actually, if we have some relations, let's say SQL, okay, there is a people, and let's take someone. Let's take Rehu. And okay, now we can actually see a lot of connections between people. And so, of course, you can open all the connections and nodes, but now actually there is, this is not helpful data, because now we need to actually create those exact queries to get the correct data. And well, we need to first figure out what's our question, so we can find the data. But yeah, so there is a lot of connections and links between us. Yeah. But yeah,
Physics in that graph, that's crazy.
yep. I think I think it is one selling point. You know, you can show your POs and oh, look at this graph.
Look how active we are.
Yeah, but yeah, but this you can actually play with this data, and I will share this. So there was those examples. So yeah.
Did you have any information about the differences between Neo4j and other graph databases?
Nope.
Right.
No, this first one what I have used. So yeah, and Neo has introduced that cipher, so the query language, and at least they say that it will be the query language which is like SQL and used in other graph databases. Yeah.
The ones I've used have used Sparkle as the query language and RDF as the data format, but I think Neo4j doesn't support those.
Nope.
Is there any standardization process like in SQL, ANSI SQL, which is like, okay, well now we have agreed on a common ground, but is there anything in the works or anything in progress so that would say that this is probably going to be the standard one?
I can't say nothing for that.
I don't know if there's any official process, but in the background, other major graph databases are supporting Decipher as a language. So it seems
De
like
facto.
that, yeah, it seems like that will be the standard.
Yeah, and I would say that working with graph databases is in some way it's much easier to work than SQL side, because you can actually see all the relations directly, and yeah, and about Wunderdomain, I don't see why it's in Firebase and in relational JSON structure, no SQL. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Thanks.